Video, Soulja Boy, the rapper that won't stop lying.
Clout chasing, abuse allegations, firearms. Today we'll look into the chaotic world of Soulja Boy, an artist that has caused controversy across the internet for the past 15 years.
Bruh.
And this has led many people to ask what caused a pioneer of online music to go down such a strange path. Well, today we'll find out.
Internet mysteries.
DeAndre Cortez Way was born in Chicago in 1990 and lived there until his family moved to Atlanta 6 years later. At the age of 14, he was again relocated to Mississippi, where his father gave him access to a recording studio to help hone his growing passion for music. Adopting the name Soulja Boy Tell 'Em, which he later shortened to just Soulja Boy, the young artist started to post his early music on the streaming platform Sound.
Isn't he the one who's a Soulja Boy? Yeah, okay. I know that song.
Click in 2004, which received a positive response and
Literally the
inspired
only
him
thing
to
I know.
pursue a professional music career. Way soon after established accounts on YouTube and MySpace to promote his work,
Thank you.
and was later praised for being one of the first rappers to harness social media as a legitimate digital marketing tool. He released his first independent album, unsigned and still major, Da Album Before Da Album, on February 19th, 2007. And just a few months later, his life would change forever. On May 2nd, the rapper released Crank That, Soulja Boy, along with a low-res video that demonstrated how to do the simple dance that he had created for the song. Within a month, the tune received its first airplay on radio stations, and it became a global phenomenon not long after. This young musician was one of the first people to ever harness the internet's virality to become a celebrity. The song quickly climbed to the top of the Billboard Hot 100, where it would stay for the next 7 weeks. It also spawned what became known as the biggest dance fad since the Macarena, which became a staple of middle school parties across North America. At the end of the year, Crank That was number 21 on Rolling Stone's Best Songs of 2007, and was nominated for Best Rap Song at the Grammys. At the time, both the artist and his creation were completely inescapable. Crank That was also the first song to ever sell over 3 million digital copies, meaning that even if it was just a fad, Soulja Boy had suddenly found himself in the spotlight. Hip-hop producer Mr. Park took the young man under his wing, signing Way to his record label and helping him produce his debut studio album, SouljaBoyTellEm.com. That album went on to peak at number 4 on the Billboard 200, but received mixed reviews. Some reviewers claim that Soulja Boy had created a new trend in hip-hop that had real staying power, while others speculated that the musician would end up being a one-hit wonder. Soulja also faced his first brush with legal issues in December, when he was sued by William Leons, a rapper from the group Mo Thug's Family, who claimed to have created the stage name Soulja Boy, which was spelled the exact same with an H in 1996. This lawsuit never went anywhere, but it was only the beginning of his clashes with the previous generation of hip-hop. You see, given that Way's biggest song was largely seen as a gimmick dance for teenagers, older rappers were not impressed with him as a staple of modern hip-hop. In June 2008, rapper and Law & Order SVU star Ice-T told the young star to eat a dick, and that he had single-handedly killed hip-hop. This prompted a short feud between the two artists, who posted videos trading insults back and forth, all of which have been deleted. Soulja Boy's tone in these uploads was largely perceived as joking, and he didn't seem to be taking the situation too seriously. While Ice-T later apologized for his comments, he still...
let's be honest, never mind. This type of hate brings more attention to it. Like, before an album comes out, let's hate on each other, you know, for the sales.
Called Soulja's music garbage. On December 16th,
Way released his
follow-up album titled I Soulja Boy Tell 'Em, which received a far more negative reaction across the
Like what we have on YouTube as diss tracks, you know?
board from critics, and fell far short of the success of Crank That. 2 weeks later, right after the album's release party, the rapper's house was robbed in the middle of the night. Soulja recounted the story to MTV News, describing how a few masked perpetrators entered his house with AK-47s and attacked him and his friends. At the time, he seemed unwilling to discuss the details of the night, saying, "I really can't dwell on what happened." However, in 2016, the artist retold the story with a few new details.
I hop out, I start shooting. Bow, 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 bow.
The meme.
Shot the nigga. Bow, shot his ass. Bow, 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 bow. All the niggas run out the door, they run out the door. This nigga on the floor.
You still alive?
Yeah, nah, I don't want to talk about all that.
Okay.
The next year, the artist started to expand his creative horizons. He announced that he would be creating a TV show, Soulja Boy: The Animated Series, but only one episode was ever released.
Out there, you may be Soulja Boy Tellum, beloved teenage rap star, but in here, you're nothing but a skinny D student named Dre. I'm not impressed with your rap video, your shoe deal, or those sunglasses.
He also had another run-in with the law.
Oh
On
my
October
God, so
9th,
bad.
the rapper was arrested for obstruction after running from police, despite being told to stop. The officers had been responding to a complaint about a group of young people gathering around an abandoned house, who scattered when they arrived. The few who stayed told the officers they were there to shoot a music video, and Way was arrested when he returned to the scene to get his car. A handgun was also found in one of the nearby vehicles, but its owner was not identified. But these incidents didn't impact Soulja Boy's career too greatly. In November 2010, he appeared on the cover story of XXL magazine, which explored his rise
What
as
type
well
of
as his
magazine?
friendship with fellow rapper 50 Cent. He was also gearing up for the release of his third album, The DeAndre Way, which he anticipated would be his best and most successful record yet. Unfortunately, when it dropped, it was met with largely disinterested reviews. It ended up being his lowest selling album after only moving roughly 13,000 units, and many speculated that Soulja's time as a cultural powerhouse was fading. The rapper blamed his record label for the low sales, claiming that they only shipped 18,000 units to stores in the first place, and said that his now stained professional relationship with Mr. Park had caused the release to falter. The two artists had stopped working as closely together after Way had founded his own record label, Stacks on Deck Entertainment, and pursued more and more solo business opportunities. They would later make amends, but it was 50 Cent who inspired his friend to keep on going in the industry, and that his uniqueness as an artist had transformed the hip-hop genre no matter what his sales figures were. The one thing Soulja Boy could rely on was his online following, even if he was rarely taken seriously as a musician. Early the next year, the rapper faced a personal tragedy. His 14-year-old brother, Dion Jenkins, was killed in a car accident. The rest of 2011 was full of ups and downs, as Way's reputation started to overtake his artistic ambitions. In April, he expressed interest in remaking the 1992 film Juice, originally starring Tupac Shakur. He even released a mixtape inspired by the
Nah,
film,
you
but the
don't do
reboot
that.
itself never came to fruition. This plan also reignited his beef with Ice-T, who called the idea ridiculous. In June, he claimed to have spent $5 million on a private jet as a birthday gift to himself, but this story was refuted only a day later by his manager. In September, Way found himself at the center of a new controversy. He released a video for his single, Let's Be Real, which contained lyrics that were critical of the FBI and the US Armed Forces. Former and current members of the military were quick to criticize the rapper, saying that the lyrics were particularly insensitive given the upcoming anniversary of 9/11. The artist apologized for the views he expressed in his song, saying that his words had come out wrong, and that he was wrong to even speak them. The track was then removed from Soulja Boy's upcoming album, and his team tried to scrub the video from the internet. On October 18th, Soulja Boy: The Movie was released, a straight-to-DVD documentary featuring a
5.5?
behind-the-scenes look at the rapper's life with interviews from him and his collaborators. Way intended to promote the film as much as possible, but on the same day, he was arrested when police found marijuana, firearms, and roughly $70,000 in cash in his car. He was released on a $10,000 bond and immediately returned to his social media to spread the word about his movie, leading some onlookers to jokingly question whether the arrest was part of the marketing. In December, Soulja Boy sued his ex-manager, Philip Ransom, for allegedly coercing him into signing contracts that he called unconscionable, oppressive, and unjust. Ransom denied the allegations and countersued, claiming that the rapper was lying about the contracts and was still withholding money that was owed. Some were quick to criticize Way,
Always with the
as it seemed
managers,
to
right?
them that this was
Problems.
either just a misunderstanding or him trying to whip up another controversy. And with this, many thought
Yeah,
the
read the
online celebrity
contract,
would
true.
begin to fade into obscurity.
sign
But for
without
better or
reading.
worse, the light would soon shine on him again with a whole new set of shenanigans. We'll learn more about this after a brief word from our sponsor.
Yay.
It's
Hello,
that time of the year
Omnidias.
again when people
Welcome.
have
Thank
the
you for
resolution to
following, and
lose some weight.
Dracula.
But thankfully
Ericus,
with
thank you for
Factor,
the
you might
resub.
actually be able to follow through with that commitment. Factor makes meeting your nutrition goals easier than ever by
Is it gonna
delivering
feed
fresh,
me?
never frozen, dietitian-approved meals right to your doorstep.
please.
Their team of gourmet chefs create each meal using only ingredients with integrity to help you feel your best all day long. If you get Factor, not only will you skip the
Looks
trip
like
to the
prison
grocery
food.
store, but skip the chopping, prepping, and cleaning up too. Within just 2 minutes, you'll have a meal that fits your dietary
To be
requirements.
honest, as a streamer and a YouTuber, as a content creator, I wish it's for me, like, I am able to afford something like that. It's usually really expensive, these meals. I don't know with Factor, but I know these other companies. I just wish I have like these meals already on the go whenever I'm streaming.
Whether you're
Really
looking
helpful.
for keto, calorie smart, vegan plus veggie, and protein plus meals, they have your
This
back.
doesn't
I
look that
personally
good,
like
though.
Factor because it takes the guesswork out of
This
eating
looks
lunch.
like he made rice with tuna, and then they had this canned corn and put it on the side. Dude, you can make this in 2 minutes.
Instead of getting some
You
greasy
just need canned tuna and canned corn.
delivery, I'm able to go to my fridge and pick out a delicious meal. So to try it for yourself, head to
Not the best meal to represent
factor75.com or
Factor.
click the link below and use code GFM60 to get 60% off your first Factor box. Again, click the link in the description down below and use code GFM60 to get 60% off your first Factor box. You will not regret this decision.
Alright.
Following the decline of his music sales, the next few years were more low-key for Soulja Boy. But then his name started appearing in headlines yet again.
HelloFresh, yeah.
In 2013, he was removed from an American Airlines flight after ignoring an attendant's request to sit down. This led many to wonder why he wasn't just using his private jet. Later in early 2014, he was arrested when a loaded gun was found inside his car during a traffic stop. The musician claimed that the weapon wasn't his, and tweeted that he was going to jail
Wait,
imminently.
but I thought
But
weapons are allowed in America. Like, you can have a weapon, you can possess a weapon. Why would you get arrested for that?
This would not come to pass. He also released another album in July, King Soulja 3, but it made very few waves. After that, Way's public life was
Why not
mostly
registered
quiet
weapon?
until
Oh, okay.
2016. He had been largely forgotten by the mainstream music crowd at this point, and most of his behavior was dismissed by the public, who generally only remembered him for one hit
Why not
song he
get a
made
license
almost
then?
a decade prior. On May 20th, 2016, the rapper signed a contract with World Poker Holdings for 5 years. He claimed that the deal was for $400 million, which drew a surprised and doubtful reaction from the public. That doubt was not misplaced,
Dude, like,
as
what is this so dumb, man? Like, what do you mean 2-3 billion? Like, Soulja Boy, what are you talking about, man?
surprised and doubtful reaction from the public. That doubt was not misplaced, as WPH's publicist claimed that the $400 million total was where the deal was capped, not the actual amount he was offered. Seemingly, the fading star had jumped the gun. This would happen again in August when a video surfaced of Way holding a gun to the camera and threatening to kill the new boyfriend of his ex, Nia Riley. However, Nia said that she didn't even have a boyfriend, and that the person who had been threatened was just an internet troll trying to get Soulja Boy's attention. A representative for the rapper claimed that the gun he held in the video was fake, which was likely to help protect Soulja from publicly violating his probation from a previous firearms charge. However, that violation ended up happening when police searched Wei's home in December, while responding to reports of him threatening people online, where they found several weapons, leading to yet another arrest. In January
He's not allowed to
2017,
have
he was
weapons on
charged
him.
with 2 felonies: possession of an assault weapon and being a felon in possession of a firearm, as well as a misdemeanor because one of the guns was reportedly stolen from a police car. Wei pleaded not guilty and ended up facing no jail time. At this point, the rapper also started a short beef with Chris Brown, trading insults with him on multiple social media platforms. This eventually led to a proposed boxing match between the two musicians, but it never came about.
Yo, he's just telling him work on your diet, man. Some fruits are good for you, like, that's all.
On December 5th, 2018, Soulja Boy expanded his
Fruits,
brand
not drugs,
into
yeah.
a new market: video
That's good.
games. He released the first of a series of machines
see
with the
anything bad about
Soulja
that.
Game name, a supposedly original video game console that consumers quickly came to call an overpriced emulator, as it was full of hundreds of older Nintendo and Sega ROMs that were clearly being sold without proper licensing. This business venture was widely mocked on the internet, especially because the consoles had no defining markers or features connected to Soulja Boy himself, and appeared to be nothing more than a bunch of cheaply manufactured bootleg machines that he was selling at a markup.
So we have the X Pro 801. It comes with a controller that looks like a cheap third-party controller you get for a PlayStation 2 from Mad Catz.
I got the console too, by the way, just in case you're curious. It's basically the same thing, except I'm pretty sure I think it runs even slower.
Despite this, the rapper continued forging ahead and announced 2 new consoles on the 15th: the Soulja Game Fuse and the Retro Soulja Boy Mini, which
Man,
were
the moves
designed
this
to
guy
resemble
is
the
making
PlayStation
are
4 and Game Boy
unbelievable.
respectively. But it wasn't long before mockery turned to legal intervention. On December 30th, Wei announced that he was pulling all the consoles off shelves after Nintendo had issued an impending lawsuit, even though he had previously tweeted that this exact scenario would never happen. After this, the website through which he had been selling the consoles started redirecting to Nintendo's 3DS shop whenever anyone tried to access it.
You type soldiergame.com and you go to Nintendo's 3D store. What the hell?
Spelling the end for the Soulja Game saga. A few weeks later, though, another console appeared, the Soulja Game handheld, modeled off the PlayStation Vita, but public interest in the knockoff machines had already dissipated. The rest of 2019 was tumultuous for Soulja Boy.
Wait, is that Ariana? Wait.
Interest in the knockoff machines had already dissipated. The rest
Ariana Grande, shift your attention here. These women are impeccable and they are who you should be talking about. Love. Lol, stop stealing my swag. Word.
rest of 2019 was tumultuous
wants
for Soulja Boy.
attention.
At the beginning of the year, he had a brief back and forth with Jake Paul, who wanted to box the rapper and even offered to put $200 million of his own money on the table to make it happen. But like with Chris Brown, it never did. Soon afterwards, a series of events
How many necklaces do you actually need? Damn.
unfolded that would forever change the rapper's naive and silly public image. On February 4th, a woman named Kayla Myers, who had allegedly dated Soulja Boy, claimed that she had been kidnapped by the rapper after trying to leave his house early in the morning.
Serious.
Upon getting in a fight with one of his female assistants in the driveway, Kayla reported that Wei emerged from the house,
cool,
attacked
bro.
her, and tied her to a chair in his garage with electrical cables, where she was left for 6 hours. Other sources close to the former video game entrepreneur claim that the story was false, and that while the fight with the assistant had occurred, it was because Wei had recently broken up with Kayla and she showed up to his house unexpectedly while intoxicated. In this retelling of events, the musician had no contact with the woman at all. When police went to Soulja's house to search for evidence regarding this accusation, they discovered weapons and ammunition inside, and the rapper was arrested for violating his probation.
Oh my
but this
God.
time,
he never learns.
was
Bruh.
unable to find a way around jail time and was sentenced to 240 days in prison. Shortly after his arrest, his house was broken into, and over $500,000 worth of valuables were stolen. The thieves then started live streaming on the rapper's Instagram account, which they accessed through his stolen phone to brag about the crime. Way would eventually be released from the penitentiary
What
on
the
June 14th.
hell?
146 days early due to a combination of good behavior and overcrowding. But in early 2020, Kayla Myers filed a lawsuit against him for assault, battery, and false imprisonment. And court documents revealed that during her time being held in the garage, one of Soulja's male assistants had allegedly coerced her into sexual favors in exchange for being
Oh my
released.
God,
The
what
artist said
the
that all
hell,
of this
bro?
was just the actions of a bitter ex-girlfriend, but the accusations didn't stop there. On January 21st, an unnamed former personal assistant of Soulja Boy sued him for sexual abuse, which had begun when he sent her unsolicited pictures of his genitals.
One time? Maybe. 2 times? Come on.
Natalia. Although their relationship did eventually turn from professional to romantic, she claimed it became physically abusive in early 2018, when the rapper allegedly pushed her out of a car during an argument and forced her to walk 5
moving car,
miles. The violence escalated from there, with Way reportedly hitting, spitting on, and sexually abusing her, usually in bouts of jealousy. At its most
Wait. Oh my God.
extreme, the woman was
Ew.
allegedly locked in a room without food, water, or a mattress, and assaulted repeatedly, leading to her moving out after one altercation that left her fearing for her life. The musician denied these accusations entirely, calling them lies, but also agreed to a 3-year restraining order from the woman a few months later. In May of 2021, another Jane Doe emerged with another lawsuit and many stories of domestic abuse. In it, she recalled events across over a decade of Way turning violent and attacking her. She also claimed that during a 2015 argument, while she was pregnant with his child, the rapper became irate and began to strike her until she fell to the ground. From there, he continued to punch and kick her all over her body, which led to a miscarriage. This pattern of violence was closely linked to their relationship, as Way would allegedly coerce her into intercourse using threats of physical assault,
went really
and he had
dark.
reportedly choked her in 2019, when she refused his attempts to rekindle their romance. Soulja Boy and his representatives never appeared to respond to these allegations, with the lawsuit still ongoing. 2022 was another year of ups and downs for the artist. After becoming a celebrity endorser of the Safe Moon cryptocurrency token, he and other influencers like Lil Yachty, Nick Carter, and Jake Paul were named as defendants in a class action lawsuit.
Another
The suit
crypto-
alleged that the
I do
celebrities
not-
had shared
Like, how many crypto Dude, do you learn? Stop listening to people about
false
crypto.
information about the token through their social media accounts as part of a
Stop
pump
wasting
and
your
dump
money.
scheme that artificially inflated the token's worth so the executives behind it could sell their holdings for a higher price. While the celebrities initially seemed safe from retribution from angry investors, on the very same day, the US 11th Circuit Court of Appeals ruled that solicitation through social media violated federal securities regulations based on the BitConnect Ponzi scheme of
Never touch
2018.
crypto, guys.
It's
Be
possible
smart.
that Soulja may find a way out of his legal woes again, but many wonder if his constant attempts to expand his brand may have finally caught up with him. It's unclear where Soulja Boy's career will take him. He's created music, clothing lines, animated TV, and arguably video game consoles, so anything could be next. He even
Honestly.
bizarrely stated to be the new CEO of Atari, another claim that was
Atari
immediately
disagrees.
refuted. Still, he's an incredibly prolific musician, with a discography that includes 8 studio albums, 64 mixtapes, 14 EPs, and 57 singles, while appearing on 19 other songs as a featured artist, so it's unlikely he'll disappear from the music world altogether. On September 30th, 2022, his girlfriend Jackie gave birth to their first child,
Oh,
a
man.
son. Maybe fatherhood will finally give Way a new perspective on life.
I
Or
don't know.
perhaps he'll be selling a line of knockoff baby toys by next year. So there you have the story of Soulja Boy,
Oh, that's for
who
sure.
surprisingly has been able to maintain a decent amount of relevance on the internet despite having only one hit single 15 years ago. And with that, I think I'll end the video here. So until next time, thanks for watching.
Oh my god, the comment, how does this man get to be a father before me? Oh no. I mean, it's bound to happen. How many women he was with, probably. But, like, why would women even be with him after what they heard and have children with him? I don't know. Some women fall in love on trust and they don't know if it's true. Or I would be very super extra cautious before I decide to have a kid with such a man. Like, I would get my facts straight first. Money, yeah. Probably money. Yep. Fame at a young age seems to cause brain damage. Yikes. Okay. But honestly, Soulja's like a real life cartoon character. Like, he genuinely one of the most wackiest characters of the 21st century. I thought Soulja Boy doesn't even exist. I thought it was a synonym for something else or someone else. Like, I don't know. It's weird. All I know is just one song about Soulja Boy, and I know about that console that he wanted to make, that he made, as you can see. Like, I don't know. It's such a weird... How does he... I feel like all his money comes from that one song. Maybe a couple of other songs, like back in the day. That's it. Gold Digger? Yeah. Everything I say, I'm telling you, everything is fine, like whatever, ups and downs, but the downs that he had at the end, like I would say the last decade, especially with these real like the allegations, you don't know if they're real or not, they're true or not, but as I said, happens once, maybe twice, 3 times, like come on. At that point, and there's zero respect to such people.